Welcome to Rochambeau, the podcast about unique competitions, extraordinary events, and other amazing adventures. I'm Ted.
And I'm Kim. Welcome back, guys.
Yeah, where you been? We've been here waiting for you. And boy, do we have something fun for you today.
I'm excited. This is a Ted story. I don't really know much about it yet.
Well, let's see. We all know that I love cars.
True.
And I love beat-up cars. And we had a lot of fun with the Lemons race.
We sure did.
We loved them taking inappropriate vehicles and racing them on a racetrack.
Indeed. And I want to actually take a second to thank the Lemon guys. They were nice enough to donate some swag for us for the prize pack that we're giving away for the world's best laugh competition.
That's right. Thanks, guys. And if you haven't called our laugh line and left your laugh, you should do that.
Learn more at RochambeauPodcast.com/laugh. So, speaking of cars.
Today, I have the Gambler 500.
All right, Ted, what is the Gambler 500?
The Gambler 500 is a car rally that they call an impractical off-road navigation adventure challenge.
Holy moly, that's a lot of words.
Yeah, does that clear it up for you? Are we done?
I want more.
Okay, well, let's break it down. Impractical. You're taking a vehicle off-road that is not meant to go off-road.
Oh my gosh, like my Toyota Yaris.
Your Yaris would be amazing off-road. Yes.
Oh gosh, how do these cars hold up?
Not very well. Or with mixed results sometimes.
All right.
Yeah. So off-road, we covered that. You're driving on forest roads, Forest Service roads. There's probably mud puddles and stuff, but yeah.
Wow.
Navigation. So this is not a race, it's a rally. So you're going from point to point. Using a GPS, there's an app for it, or you can use different ways to find different waypoints.
Talk to me about the challenge of that. Why is that challenging, getting from point A to point B?
Because they don't give you a map on how to get there. Right. They'll say, you're over here on one side of the mountain. You need to get to the other side of the mountain. Go. And I think you can choose different routes, too. Like you can go, you don't have to go A, B, C, D. You can go A, E, F, Z.
You need to check points off of a list.
Yes. But how you do it, that's up to you.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's where we come to the adventure part, because you're in a vehicle that's not meant to go off-road. You're off-road. You're trying to find a waypoint. Hilarity ensues. The wheel of your Yaris gets stuck in the mud.
Oh my gosh, that gives me so much anxiety because I am a city girl by heart, and being in the woods and being lost and being in a vehicle that might not work well. It's like you're checking off all my anxiety boxes.
No, those are adventure boxes. Yeah, you got that backwards. No, but there's people out there to help you. There's I think part of this is a camaraderie. So there's other people out there in their own station wagon or their limousine or their ambulance. So when they break down, you help them. Ambulance. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like the Cannonball Run, but a lot slower and dirtier, and not in the 70s.
And how long of a period of time does this take?
So they all happen over, I think, a roughly 3-day period. So you show up on a Friday night, you camp because it starts early in the morning. Saturday, it's an all-day affair. Like, I believe it takes, depending on the course, between 10 to 12 hours if you go straight through. But you have cars breaking down, you're stopping, you
better bring snacks.
Bring snacks and water. And then, there's a big party that night, Saturday night, and then Sunday you head home. So
this is definitely an adventure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely an adventure. And the last word is challenge, and I guess the challenge is making it through the whole thing.
Yeah. And finding your points and hopefully finding everyone else for that party at the end. Right. Because what a bummer that would be.
All this for nothing. And also, the challenge is bringing that impractical vehicle. Like, how impractical can you get?
And do people bring their day driver cars, or do they go and find a car specific for event?
Yeah, you would not want to bring your daily driver.
Okay,
right?
Because you're not gonna. It's not gonna be the same.
Not gonna make it. Plus, you want a beater car that if it rolls or if it doesn't work, whatever, you're fine. And they don't spend a lot of money on these cars. Typically, a $500 theoretical rule, which everyone breaks, but that's fine. Yeah. So this one happens June 28th to 30th in Oregon. This is the original one. This is the OG 500. They sometimes call it the Grand National.
Nice.
And one of the originators is Tate Morgan, and I talked to Tate.
You want to talk about the Gambler?
Absolutely. My life really isn't that interesting outside of the Gambler, so it's probably the thing to chat about. I'm Tate Morgan, live in Portland, Oregon, and I started the Gambler about 6 years ago along with some buddies, and have kind of rode along this kind of crazy track it's been on the last 6 years to be now what we call the largest car rally in the world.
Nice. That's pretty awesome. How did it come about?
So kind of super simple and organic. It was never supposed to be a big affair. It was just us and a couple buddies decided that it'd be fun to go get some crummy cars, and we knew that Lemons racing, while it looked super fun, was cost prohibitive for some of our buddies. At the end of the day, if we wanted to haul the car over the junkyard, we wouldn't feel bad about it.
Right.
So, these weren't cars that we spent weeks and months and years toiling on and building. These are things that typically we just went and got off Craigslist and then drove 500 miles the next day.
Nice. Where do you drive those cars?
So it really varies. When I speak about the Gambler, I'll speak about the main, original national one that we have here in Oregon. Albeit we have a lot of kind of smaller runs that occur in other states that we've kind of allowed people to use our name and logo and stuff to kind of promote the concept of fun, free, adventure. But typically what will happen is people are tasked with going and buying impractical or cheap cars, or a minivan that maybe you already had, a Toyota Corolla. We really like two-wheel drive cars. And then originally we had set out just a set of waypoints. And so we were on a gentleman's agreement not to break speed limits of the laws. All the cars were licensed and insured. And we'd navigate to all these waypoints. And typically we'd use apps and software and stuff. But, when you're trying to hit 25 waypoints in a day in a car that really wasn't built to go on the road that was going on, that becomes a challenge.
Right.
So, but, and to be honest with you, we used to keep time, in the very beginning. There was about half of us that were somewhat competitive. And so, we were all buddies, and so we wouldn't break speed limits. But, when you're going off-road in a Nissan Sentra, you can't really break the speed limit anyways. And so trying to keep the thing together and then navigating correctly was kind of the biggest challenge. But as we grew and got bigger and bigger, we realized we had to take speed out of the equation because there are some people that are just far too competitive to stay safe out there.
Right. And like you said, a lot of this is off-road? Yeah.
So, nice thing about Oregon is about half of the state is public land. And so we're able to stay on old, hunting roads or national forest roads. So there's definitely a little bit of road driving in between, but it's a nice reprieve. When you get a nice section of highway, you can relax a little bit. But, for the most part, we're on back roads. And
Sweet. So how big is it now? It started off with you and a couple buddies, right?
It did. And I should probably preface that, in that transition as we grew, we took that speed factor out. And actually made it a lot more fun because we noticed that the people that were having the most fun were taking limousines and dressing up in costumes and not really caring about how many checkpoints they hit. They were just having a fun adventure. And I think that's in particular what brought the people kind of in. It's just people that don't take themselves too seriously. There are plenty of outlets for people to go race, but this is more of an adventure and a big party at the end. So we currently are you asked how big we are, but I was going to add that this year we're projecting a little over 5,000 people to come to the Grand National one here in Oregon.
Oh, wow.
We had about 4,000 last year, so 5,000 is probably actually a little conservative.
And that's the one held in Oregon? That's
the one here in Oregon, June 28th through the 30th. It's a 3-day affair, but we've developed an app. And then we have other routes that come in from all other states. We always have a ton of Canadian teams that come down. We have guys who drive their cars all the way from the East Coast. And we have people that are flying in from Australia and Europe. So, we kind of have a pretty broad swath. And then we also encourage these people to then go home and start kind of grassroots events, kind of like, we used to do. It doesn't take a lot of infrastructure to manage small events. And so it's always kind of a fun thing to see them go back and see the cars they build.
Yeah, just getting them out there and having fun, huh?
Oh, man. And it's something about bringing, an impractical or the worst tool to get a job done because you find that the journey itself is really where the marrow of the whole event is. And,
Right.
It's kind of like lemons in that sense, is that the people who kind of try to cheat or get real close to the line of cheating usually aren't celebrated. It's the guy who made the poorest decision. For us, since it's not a race, our tagline is fun is greater than rules. And nice. So, we don't really have any, we don't even enforce the $500 limit. If, someone wants to spend more on something, that's great, that's fine. It's not going to, get them. We have the scepter, and that's going to be an award for the person who embodies the spirit the most.
And isn't there a cleanup aspect to it as well?
Yeah, that's something that always been near and dear to my heart as an outdoorsman. To be able to incorporate that into the event was huge for me, and it also helps with the public image. As long as we're leaving, our public lands better than the way we found them, then it's kind of a hard argument to make, that this is a bad thing.
Not a bunch of bad yahoos. You're the good yahoos. So you're talking about a little bit of the feedback. Has there been what have you heard from people in the towns that you end up at?
The local papers have always had great things to say, especially with the cleanup aspect, and then from the local economy. We choose to go to these kind of underserved areas. Our little gambler road rally benefited the local shops and gas stations. So we've got the backing of all the local travel areas and Department of Transportation and the Forest Service. It wasn't always that way. I've sat in some meetings with the Forest Service where they were a little confused, when they thought this was more of a race and kind of a spurge on public lands. But I think we finally won them over.
Cool, they get it now.
Yep, yeah. No, we actually have a lot of federal and state employees and first responders that come participate.
Man, you guys are killing it. You're winning everybody over with just like bad ideas and shenanigans in the woods.
Well, it's hard to argue with. It's fun and cheap, and we're doing good. So.
Oh my gosh, Ted, I'm sold.
Yeah.
I mean, this is definitely not a Kim Drobes type event.
Right.
But I love everything they stand for.
Yeah, I love that they're doing good. They're pulling trash out of the woods. They're having fun. It's not a lot of money.
So that is the implication that he was making is on this road from point A to point B, if you see trash on the ground, you're pulling over, you're picking it up and throwing it in your Yaris.
Right. Back to the Yaris.
I'm going to keep using the Yaris.
Yeah. And you might be doing that dressed as a chicken or a nun or whatever, because there's a lot of costumes.
Oh my God, yes.
Have we not covered that yet?
No.
Okay, let's go to the costumes.
Right.
But there's plenty of people in costume, chicken suits and mankinis and stuff. So people take it pretty far.
Yeah. So there is the costume aspect. Does it usually go along with their cars, or people just dress up normally? Or?
Yeah. It really depends. Some guys probably aren't comfortable dressing up. Others are. We actually have a pretty large female contingent too. I'd say about 20% of our attendees are also women. It's a fun kind of thing to go do with your wife or girlfriend for the weekend. But yeah, I'd say at least half the people are dressing up in some way, shape, or form.
I do love a good costume.
I know you do. And it's great that the wives and girlfriends are out there having fun.
Yeah, 20% female participants. Good job.
Good job, guys and girls.
So one question that's been on my mind is he said that at a certain point for safety and for fun, they had to take speed out of the game.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you determine a winner at that point? Are there actually still awards?
There are awards. He mentioned the scepter earlier, which was the guy or girl who most embodied the spirit of gambler.
What was the tagline? He said, fun is greater than rules.
Right.
That is killer.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good stuff.
Yeah, but there are many, many more awards, and then they make up some on the fly.
So we do. Yeah, we do have the scepter is kind of the person that embodies the gambler spirit the most.
Right.
Brought the worst car, was the coolest guy. We have awards for who drove the farthest. We have an app actually that breaks down the metric of how much off-road you took. So if someone traveled 500 miles and they were able to complete that in 80% of it being off-road, then we're able to use that as our metric for competition. So we have that award. But yeah, best costume, and we'll also make some stuff up. If there's somebody that showed up that's just outrageous or did something amazing, we always have our sponsors support them. And then of course with the trash cut, whoever brought in the biggest piece of trash last year, it was a boat. Someone got an abandoned boat that was on the side of some back road for a decade, and someone dragged it in, and then the most trash. So yeah.
That's amazing. Someone picked up a boat.
A boat. I think I saw a picture of it. It's not a little boat. It's like a ski boat.
What type of vehicle were they driving that they were able to tow that?
I don't know. Maybe a Yaris.
Oh my gosh, maybe a limo.
Yeah, you could tow a boat with a limo for sure.
Wow.
Yeah. Boy, it was just being dragged down the trail, like bouncing around. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
How do you get a boat in the middle of the woods?
I don't know.
No,
That's very Lost. I don't know if you've ever seen Lost, but that makes sense that, a boat would end up in the middle of the woods
Somehow.
Yes.
So that, Kim, is the Gambler 500. And like he mentioned, there are rallies all over the country. There's some in Canada. There's one in Iceland. So there is no excuse not to go buy a cheap beater, go hang out in the woods, clean up, and have some fun.
Sounds like a blast.
I know. In fact, there's one coming up in Tennessee that I think me and my friends are going to do.
Wonderful.
So maybe we'll have a trip report on that sometime in the future. Kim, what do we have on the calendar for this weekend?
Well, actually, this weekend is one of our episodes that we've done in the past.
Aha.
Episode number 11, we covered the World Beard and Mustache
the
Championships.
Mustache Championship. That was fun. Those guys were super cool.
Super cool. And that is actually happening this weekend, starting on Friday the 17th. It runs through the course of the weekend, but Saturday, of course, is the main event. And if you remember, it happens in Antwerp, Belgium.
Oh, that's right.
If you, by chance, are a listener in Belgium, this is what you're doing this weekend for sure. And speaking of the World Beard and Mustache Championships.
First, good luck to all of our people we interviewed.
Absolutely. And one of them, actually, Taylor reached out recently. Taylor was with the Austin Facial Hair Club.
Oh, Bad Taylor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bad Taylor. Bad Taylor reached out to say that he and some of the other guys from Austin now make up Beard Team USA.
Okay.
And are helping run the Nationals.
Oh.
And that happens in November. And we'll tell you a little more about that when it gets closer.
Cool. Good work, Bad Taylor. Not so bad, Taylor. And I have an event in Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Oh, I've never been. I hear it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. I've only been once in the summertime. I haven't been in the wintertime, oddly enough. This is the Ultimate Towner obstacle course.
What is a towner?
I don't know.
Okay. I know what an obstacle course is. This sounds fun.
Towner could mean a person who lives in town.
Like a townie?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll go with that.
Okay.
You could be the ultimate towner. It's a challenge, compete with 25 obstacles over 4 miles.
Wow.
Yeah. This is a product of passion and it was inspired by the theme of overcoming your obstacles.
Aw.
Oh, nice. So if you are in Jackson Hole or near there, go to Jackson Hole this weekend and have some fun.
Yeah. Get over some obstacles in your life.
Be the ultimate towner. Be the best towner you can be.
Fantastic. If you guys know about anything interesting or cool or weird or unique happening in your hometown, please reach out. We want to know about it.
We want to spread the word for you. Our music today was brought to us by Cadillac Jones. Thank you very much, guys. You are awesome. If you have not heard Cadillac Jones, go to Spotify and check them out.
All right, guys, the world is a big, beautiful, and sometimes, quite often, a strange place. Stranger it is, the more we want to hear about it. Thanks so much for listening. Till next time, people.
Goodbye. Podcast about unique
So stuff.
Yeah. Okay.